My name is Mukesh Sharma. I am a student of class 10th from Government Higher Secondary School, Karnashgal. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on topic re-strengthening of the mind post-pandemic. As a human being, we all share the same sorrows, the same hopes, the same potential. The COVID 19 pandemic has reminded us how interdependent we are. What happened to one person can soon affect many others, even on the far sides of our planet. Therefore, it is up to all of us to try to cultivate peace of mind and to think about what we can do for others, including those that we never see. It is natural to feel worry, and fear at a time when so many are suffering. But only by developing calmness and sightedness can we help others, and in so doing, even help ourselves. In my own life, I have often found that it is the most important, it is the most difficult challenge that have helped me again strength. The current global health crisis also remind us that what affected the human family has to be addressed by all of us. The solution to this has too many other problems, especially concerning the
Concern.
environment, depends on international cooperation. Ultimately, if is to thrive, we must remember that we are one. The COVID 19 pandemic was a momentous global failure, highlighting above all else the limitation of the social forces that produce our health. For people died that needed to because our weak social and economic system had predisposed us to poor health to begin with. So what does this mean for us in the aftermath of COVID-19? It means that we need to take a long, hard look at the social and economic system that underlie how we live, work, and play. It means that we need to question why there are deep assessed gaps between haves and have nots, and to ask why we continue to have a long entrenched marginalization of minority, racial, and ethnic groups. Important, these are social problems that not biological ones, and social problems are harder to address and deal with. But COVID 19 should give us the reason finally not to rest until we have restructured our world so that there are no health haves and health have nots. And there we are investing in the force like safe housing, good schools, livable wages, gender equity, clean air, drinking water, a fair economy that create a healthier world. Thank you.
My name is Upri Singh. I am a student of class 10th from Government High Secondary School, Kannashadgal. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on topic re-strengthening of the mind post-pandemic. During the pandemic, we have glimpsed at a kinder society that understood how much we are connected and how deeply we depend on each other. Even before it, poor mental health was the leading cause of ill health globally. We know we can't treat our out of the mental health crisis, and the pandemic shows that the context of our personal and social lives, our finance, and our surrounding have very powerful effects on our mental health. However, we also know from our evidence-based practice in communities that you can create the condition for good mental health and prevent mental ill health by tackling inequality, trauma, isolation, and stress. It's clear our future depend on reimagining what our society could and should be. The pandemic has disrupted work for millions of people across the globe, leading to a painful period of uncertainty and anxiety. Being able to work is central to many aspects of life, survival capacity to contribute and achieve social connection and self-determination. I believe that this crisis is exposing in the fact of the lack of protection and support for working people, which is now painfully clear because of the porous safety net that has allowed so many people across the globe to experience food, housing, and health insecurity. I believe that this movement offers an inflection point. My hopeful expectation is that the pandemic will encourage a serious assessment of how work has evolved as a social, physiological, and economical institution. At the core of this transformation is accessible work that pays, leaves wages, provides health care, and offer human condition to get to this goal. Leaders and citizens will need to make fundamental changes in how organizations are regulated and how workers are protected. I hope that people across the globe develop a movement that for on the ground the needs of people as they manage the complex web of making living and living a meaningful life. Now the pandemic has revealed in a stretch belief what those of us how has stupid economic inequality already knew. COVID-19 led bare the vast network of underlying fragility that continue to threaten the health and well-being of the United States. The latest economic research show the many ways that high inequality in economics, wealth, and across firms service to obstruct, subvert, and distort the processes that lead to widespread improved economic well-being. The current crisis have also presented us with a movement to rest. Police knocks should be kindly focus on reducing economic inequality and boosting growth. We must limit inequality's ability to constrict our economic and tackle the ways that the concentration of economic resources translates into political and social power, and we must ensure that as we do, we address long-standing inequality across our society, including by gender and structural resignation. Now is the time for us to act collectively to create an economic characteristic by growth that is strong, stable, and broadly shared. One that measures its success by the degree to which individual and families have a chance at a proper life. Thank you.